In this tutorial, we'll first talk about project settings. Then we'll talk a little bit about the different file types and how to save your project. We'll finish up with an overview of some of the editing features that you can use to enhance your video projects. At any time, you can utilize the table of contents at the left to jump directly to the process you want to learn more about. Let's begin with project settings. When a new recording is added to the timeline, a project settings dialog window automatically appears. Selecting a preset during the editing process allows you to preview what your final produced video will look like. Project settings also help you start thinking about the production process ahead of time, which in turn helps give you consistent results with your produced videos. If the dimensions of the clip added to the timeline are 640 by 480 or greater, then the project settings will default to the web preset. This is just what I need for this example because I want to place the produced video on a website. Also, if the chosen preset is smaller than the original recording, then the video dimensions will change and Smartfocus will be applied by default. Click OK when your selections are complete. You can learn more about how to choose your project settings by clicking the link inside the Project Settings window in Camtasia Studio. Before we complete any editing to our project, let's first save our Camtasia Studio project. If you look at the title bar within Camtasia Studio, you'll see that it says Untitled.camproj. The camrec file that you have in the clip bin is the Camtasia recording file that you saved and imported into Camtasia Studio to edit. This is a separate file from the Camtasia project or camproj file. To save the Camtasia Studio project, go to File, Save Project As, choose a location, and give your project a name. You will see three options in the Source Clips drop-down window, but for this project, I will keep the source clips in their current locations. The source clips are referring to any file that is being used in the Camtasia Studio project. In this particular case, it's only the camrec file that you see in the clip bin. Click Save and you'll see the new file name in the title bar. It is important to save your project early and often to ensure that nothing is lost in case of computer failure. Alright, now that we have saved our project, let's take a closer look at the timeline where your video is compiled. The timeline consists of a number of tracks, which are utilized depending on what is present in the video. You can click on the Tracks button on the timeline toolbar to make a track visible or hidden. Some tracks are tied to each other, while others operate independently. For example, the video track, which includes Audio 1, Callouts, Zoom, and Quiz, are all tied together. That means if you make a split to the video, the tied-in tracks will be affected as well. When you are working with multiple tracks on the timeline, such as the video track and the Audio 2 track, you can click the small lock icon to lock any tracks that you don't want to be affected by your edits. Just something to keep in mind during the editing process. You can also click and drag content on some tracks and move it to another location on the timeline, or even adjust the duration independently of the other tracks. The timeline toolbar contains some very useful shortcut features. The zoom in and zoom out buttons are very helpful when it comes to zooming in on your timeline to make a precise cut or split. Speaking of which, the cut and split buttons are two of the most widely used features on the timeline. Highlight portions of your video that you don't want anymore and click the cut button to remove it. If you accidentally cut the wrong area, click the undo button. Splitting your clips on the timeline enables you to insert transitions, title clips, or other types of media between them. To do this, place the seek bar in the desired location on the timeline and click the split button. Your video clip is now split in two, and you're able to drag the media from your clip bin between the two clips you just created. If Smartfocus was already applied from the Project Settings window, then you should see keyframes present on the zoom track. If you click the Apply Smartfocus button, a dialog window will appear asking if you want to remove all existing keyframes and apply Smartfocus to the entire timeline. Click Yes to apply this action, or click No to cancel. If any Smartfocus keyframes need to be adjusted, simply double-click the individual keyframe on the timeline to access the Zoom and Pan Properties page. Here you can easily edit, add, or delete keyframes. You can learn more about Smartfocus by accessing content from our Learning Center. The task list also contains features that help you add content and edit your projects. Title clips allow you to add a graphic and/or text to introduce your video, to set chapters within your video, or to end your video with a credit screen. Click on Title Clips under the Task List section. Fill in the desired text and choose a color or an image as your background. When finished, click OK and your title clip will be placed in the clip bin. Click and drag the clip to the desired position on the timeline, like this. Transitions can help make a smooth process from one topic to another. Click on Transitions and double-click a thumbnail to preview the effect. When you find your favorite, drag it to a spot between two clips. Click Finish and preview your project. Callouts are great and can really enhance your videos by drawing attention to specific areas that are being mentioned. Click on the Callouts link and then choose Add Callout. Now simply pick the desired callout from the list, choose the direction and the color. You can move and resize the callout in the preview window. When you are happy with the way it looks, click OK and then Finished. There are many other great editing features in Camtasia Studio, and here is a brief overview. Audio Enhancements is an amazing feature that does an excellent job of removing background noise and evening out volume levels from your audio recordings. Flash quizzes and surveys add interactivity to video projects and help keep the audience engaged throughout the presentation. And the Captions feature allows you to quickly and easily add text to the bottom of your video and sync it directly with your audio. I encourage you to explore a little bit with each of these editing features and see just how easy they are to use. If you need help along the way, then be sure to check out the individual video tutorials for these topics located on our Learning Center.